Hello. In this video, we're going to be talking about the editing tools that you'll be using when you go to edit any of your pages. So here we find ourselves back at the landing page after we've logged on. I'll just click on my website and you'll see it automatically takes me to the home page. Now, if I click the Edit tab, when we get to this page, we're given a lot of opportunities to do different things, but I want to focus on the actual toolbar containing the tools that you'll be using to edit. I'm just going to go through each one. Some you might recognize, and others you've not seen before. Now, starting over on the left side of the toolbar, you'll see two tools that you're used to seeing. B is for bold, and you can apply a bold to one letter, one word, one sentence, an entire paragraph. And then there's also italic, same thing. You can do a character, you can do a sentence, a word individually. But these are the only two things that you can do on the character or sentence level. Everything else is by the paragraph. Now, by default, every time you hit return, you make a new paragraph. So where it says, welcome to technical training, that's a paragraph. This is a paragraph. This is a paragraph. This is a paragraph. So if you'll see that if I select a word, and I just double-clicked on the word training, and I go to B, that one by itself is bolded. If I hit I for italic, you can see that word by itself is now bold and italicized. But that's not the way it's all going to be with just about anything else in this editing feature. And we'll get more to that. Right next to that, you'll see Justification. And I want to call out one thing right now. If I run my mouse over, it tells you that this is the Align Left button. The next one is the Center Align. And the next one is the Align Right. So since I'm in a paragraph, I only have to click into the paragraph. If I click the Center Align, it aligns to the center. Same thing if I click on the Right Align. Now I have to caution you, anything that has to do with the web may or may not flow exactly like you would expect it if you've been using Word or some other kind of editing tool. It will move to where it should be for the part of the layout that it's in. That may be confusing. It may work fine, but sometimes it may not. I just want to clue you in on that. Next up we find this is for bullets, and these are for numbers, and these are both lists. Now I want to tell you about lists. Right now we have access to two different kinds of lists, but they have specific features. Think about a recipe card. You'll have both of the lists there. One list will be the list of ingredients, and of course you can go into Giant Eagle or any grocery store and pick out your ingredients any way you see. You can go get the milk, you can go get the bread, you can go get just about anything you want in any order. That would be a bullet list, because the technical term for a bullet list is an unordered list, which means it's a list that you create where the elements do not have to be in any specific order. Now, you'll probably put them in an order that you think makes sense to you, but technically you can put any feature in any order that you want. Now, the next list type is the ordered list, or in this case it's called numbered list. Now, in our recipe card, that would be your list of how you actually, your recipe, how you actually create whatever you're cooking. You can't just put ingredients in any order that you want. You have to follow a specific pattern. So the reason I tell you this is that when you're using lists, stick to that notion. Don't use an ordered list, which would be the number list, when you really could be using a bullet list, and vice versa. They are different and they have different functions. Next, we've got the indentation buttons. These two buttons will either decrease the indent or increase the indent. These are specifically used for your lists, and we'll get to those in a little bit. It's not something that you're going to use a lot of, and you certainly don't want to use more than one indent at a time unless you're doing a specific kind of list, but that's where those are. You've got your undo and your redo buttons. You've seen those before. If you're going to make a link, this little world looking thing, that's for creating links. Now here's a hint. If I want to edit a link, all I have to do is double click on one, and you can see down here when I roll over it, it flashes. This is a link. If I want to edit it, I just have to double click on it. But generally when you're creating a link, you're going to be using this tool. If you want to remove the link, you'll use this tool. This is the unlink button. This next one looks like a little flag. That's the anchor tool, used to make special kind of links that take you to certain places in the document that you're already in. We'll talk about that more when we do links. This next tool is for a horizontal line. Now, there are special reasons to use this. It's not like you'll just fill up a page with a bunch of lines. Horizontal lines have a meaning, and we'll go into that some more later. Now, if I select some text, these two tools are available to me now. The cut tool, which allows me to take a copy of this, but then remove it. See? Or the copy tool, which allows me to leave this where it is, but make another copy of it. The next two tools are the paste button and the paste as plain text. I rarely use the paste, but paste as plain text I use all the time. The major problem with copying and pasting from, say, other websites or from a Word document, especially from a Word document, is that not only does it bring the content that you're trying to copy and paste, but it also brings the formatting, and that can be problematic. Even by copying and pasting plain text can be a problem, because plain text doesn't have a format to it. It's only plain text. There's no spacing, that type of thing. And we're going to go into that. There are certain tricks to use this and get around it. Here's one of my most important tools, the remove format. Sometimes when I'm working on a page and it doesn't look quite right, maybe the text is too small. Frequently with these, this text here, this big orange text, you'll see that it's actually too small for some strange reason. So what I'll do is I'll select all the text that I think is affected wrong, and I'll click on this remove format, and it'll take that bizarre formatting out. As a matter of fact, once I use the paste as plain text, I always select the text and remove the format just to make sure. It just saves you a lot of time. Now you'll notice when I select this text, it's listed as normal. But if I select this text, it's listed as heading 3. If I select this orange text we just talked about, it's listed as heading 4. So what is this drop down? It's all of the styles that you're allowed to use while you're doing your editing. Now, normal text is just that. It's your basic paragraph text. Heading, and it's hard to see right here, but heading 2 all the way up to heading 6, these are for your special paragraphs. Remember I told you that everything's a paragraph, and they're for headers. Right now I'm not using heading 2, but if I wanted to, I'd just click on it, and you can see that it changes. I'm going to go into a lot of detail about when to use these and how to use these in a little bit, but I just want to bring out to your attention what's going on with them. Now here's the final tools, and I'll admit I don't use them as much, but we're going to go through them. This next one is the table tool. Allows me to put a table wherever I wanted. We'll talk about that. This next one allows me to select everything in the window. So that's the Select All button. The next one up is the Find tool. So if I click on it, it brings up Find and Replace. Now this is important. And it's just like what you might have used in Word or Excel or something like that. So I can find the text 1972 and replace it with 1973, something like that, anytime I want to. And it could be not just a word, it could be a phrase. Anything that you can type, you can copy and replace to something else. Now the next button that we have is the check spelling button. When you click this, you might notice that we've got some ads popping up. That's because this is a free add-in to the program, but it still has all the regular things that you're accustomed. You'll see a word that it doesn't understand in red with an underline, and you'll see that you can change to it, or you can change all things that you've seen before in other programs like Word. You also have a grammar checker, and you also have a thesaurus. You can change the dictionary if you want. Probably not going to do that, but it's available to you if you need to. Now the last button is the Add Media button. Now we've talked about managing files and how to put pictures into your Manage Files area. This is how you will use pictures or documents or anything else in a website. And we'll go into great detail in another video on this.